In this video, we're going to learn how to create a new slide. I assume that you've already created your title slide, which we have here. And so we want to create a second slide. So we're going to go up and make sure that we're on the home ribbon. And then we're going to click on this button right here above where it says new slide. When you click on it, it creates a second slide. Notice over here. This is your working area. So let's click up here in this placeholder and we'll add our text. Now, if you would accidentally click your enter key, which I've seen a lot of people do, thinking it's going to jump them down to the bulleted area down here, and it doesn't. Notice how it comes down here, it wraps around and takes you to a second line that it thinks that you might want in your title. And if you did want a second line, then of course you'd go ahead and type. But in this case, we don't want to do that. So to get rid of that, we would just hit our backspace. And that gets rid of that enter that's at the end of that line. It puts a character in there that you can't see, and it forces it down to a new line. So we want to get rid of that. So we just hit our backspace and it takes us up there. Now let's click down here to add our text into this placeholder. Now we are going to be using the bullet points, which is kind of the generic thing for this slide. We'll learn later how you can insert a table, insert pictures, insert charts, etc. So there's some other things that you can do in this slide layout, but we're going to do a bullet point. So when we start typing, and then if we want a second bullet point, we could just hit our enter key, and it comes down here to the second bullet point. Now if we hit enter, notice it doesn't really start us with another bullet point. It looks like it does, but it's kind of grayed out there. So if we don't type anything, and if we just click somewhere else, notice that bullet point, we wouldn't have a little triangle there. Now the triangles for the bullet points are what is chosen for this layout or this theme that we've selected. So if we went up and chose a different theme for this slideshow, instead of the purple and this font that we have and the bullet points that look like this, it would put a different type of bullet point in there. All that can be customized also. So right now we're not going to worry about doing those customizations. We're just going to use what the theme suggests that we use. It usually makes it nice and readable and more pleasing to the eye when we go ahead and just go with what the theme selects. Now if we want to create another new slide, let me show you another way that we can do that. Instead of clicking on this button right here, which is going to give us this more generic type slide, if we want a different kind of a layout for our slide, we could click on this down arrow or this bottom part of this button, and it brings this drop down menu for us. And notice it has a lot of other options for us to choose. Now notice the Ion Boardroom is the theme that we have selected, so it's going to kind of show you what your slides are going to look like. If you have a different kind of theme, your slides are going to look a little different. However, the layout for the slide should be the same. So if you want a slide with just a title, you could use that one. If you want a slide with two areas for content, you could use that. If you want a blank slide, you could click on that one. Okay, so we're going to go up here and we're going to just choose the same kind of slide, title and content. And when we click on it, notice it creates a third slide for us over here. So now we're ready to create our third slide. Up here, we're going to type theme. And then down in this area, we have a longer paragraph that we're going to type. And I'm not going to have you watch me type the rest of the paragraph. So I'll just put dot, dot, dot in there. And you can see back in the lesson the text that I have typed. And if you're following along with the lesson, then you could go ahead and type that. So that is the easiest way to create a new slide. There are other ways. If you want to duplicate a slide, or if you want to, you can right click and notice in that quick menu that pops up, you can duplicate a slide. So if you have one slide and you need a second one that looks almost just like it, maybe a few changes, this is a good option. Also here, notice in that quick menu, Remember, I pointed to the slide and I clicked my right mouse button. I could click on new slide and get another slide. Okay, so see, I have a fourth slide here. Now, if you ever have a slide that you need to get rid of, you just right click on it and choose delete slide. That is one quick, easy way to do that. So pointing to the slide over here and right clicking brings up that quick menu for working with slides. So that's a little bit about creating new slides.